could pick up any little bits of tissue. Believe it or not, that's in the asparagus family, and when it's very young, at the beginning of the spring, the new shoots, if you cover them and keep them blanched so they don't go green, and then collect them and cook them steamed like asparagus shoots, they're quite delicious. Deeper in the forest, there is a rare opportunity I just can't miss. Without a doubt, one of the best-kept secrets in the Ardèche is the underground world. This is limestone country, and wherever you have limestone and rain, you get potholes and caves, because the limestone literally dissolves. Some of those holes in the ground have historically proved useful. There was one just here that the local people used to use to get rid of garbage and dead animals, until in 1935, Robert de Joly descended with 40 metres of ladder and discovered the most amazing cavern. Robert de Joly had been exploring caves for over 30 years when he made his most famous discovery here, the Orgnac cave. Special permission allows me to enter through the original entrance in the roof of the cave. But this means I'll have to abseil down. So you can imagine what it must have been like. 1935, the first time people went down into the unknown, literally entering the bowels of the Ardèche. Fascinating. It feels just the same now. I've no idea what I'm going to see down there. Okay. Au revoir. Ça va, Ray? Ça va bien, merci. Amazing. Wow. It's like going into a forgotten land. For hundreds of years, the locals had wondered about this mysterious hole. They told stories that it was haunted, perhaps to keep curious children away. That is amazing. But Robert discovered that the truth was even more breathtaking than fiction. Wow. Incredible. What a sight. What a staggering way to enter a cavern. Unlike me, tourists who come here have to use a man-made opening involving 700 steps. Wow. That's amazing. Apart from its sheer size, this cave is known for its incredibly diverse rock formations. When Robert de Joly descended into this cave, it must have been incredible. He was coming into a place that was well known locally. There were lots of associations with this hole. But of course what he didn't realise was what he was going to find in here. I mean, this is as high as Niagara Falls. It's truly spectacular. This huge mound was formed over thousands of years by animals falling to their deaths. Some of the bones found here date back to prehistoric times. See, looking at this, it's like looking at a coral reef. It's so intricate, and yet there seem to be patterns, all mixed with a good helping of chaos too. It's incredible. These patterns are created by water dripping through the limestone. As it dries, its minerals solidify into stalactites that hang from the ceiling. As the water reaches the ground, it deposits more minerals, which build up, creating cones or stalagmites. It's like walking through an art gallery. It's wonderful. This cave extends over an area of 200,000 square meters, but tourists are only allowed to see just a fraction of it. Back in the 1960s, cavers coming into this part of the cavern detected in a small hole a passage of air. And they reasoned that if there's air passing, there might be another cavern. So they enlarged that hole and went through. And what they discovered was Orgnac 2, Orgnac 3, Orgnac 4. Stéphane Tassino, a local caver, has agreed to take me into Orgnac cavern number 2. The tunnel made by previous cavers is so tight that the crew have to put down their equipment. To avoid damaging the walls, we will rely instead on a small portable camera. There are no lights on in the cave. A single light bulb would encourage moss to grow down here and ruin the formations. We walk for 1 kilometre to get to the heart of Orgnac 2. Here I get the chance to see the most delicate of all cave formations, helictites. Unlike stalactites and stalagmites, these rock formations appear to defy gravity and grow horizontally. They are very slow to form. A few centimetres take over 100 years. Wow, I really hope the shots work because that was incredible. Those helictites, they're amazing.
Yes, really fine.
They're so fine and they're spectacular. That's really something like a fairy grotto. Thank you very much for showing me, Stefan.
Je vous en prie.
There are still many kilometres of unexplored caves down here, but I feel the need to return to daylight to carry on my adventure above ground. North of the Orniac Cave is the entrance to the gorge and my destination tomorrow morning. The Ardèche is a fast-flowing river cutting through 30 kilometres of limestone. The gorge and its beaches are full of wildlife, but the best time to catch it is early, so I'm ready to start my journey by 6 a.m. There are two good ways to explore the Ardèche Gorge. You can walk it or you can canoe it, but by far the best is to go by canoe. You get the most amazing view, and that gorge is so pristine. I can't wait to get in there. The Pont d'Arc was formed by thousands of years of erosion from the Ardèche River. At 66 metres high, it is the largest natural arch in Europe. This is the gateway to the gorge, one of the greatest natural wonders in all of France. There was a terrific storm last night, and that's put some water in the river, which is a good thing. But look at the mist. Oh, it's glorious. It's as beautiful as I've ever seen it. The cliffs are a natural habitat for bird life. That's fantastic. I spotted a peregrine who's just caught a baby pigeon. He heads off to feast on his find. It's a bit tough on the pigeons, but the peregrine's got to feed too. Peregrine falcons are formidable hunters. They feed on smaller birds that they are able to catch mid-flight. Well adapted to the steep gorge sides, they can dive down at speeds of 200 miles an hour. Next, it's down the rapids to find out the secrets that have been hidden here for years. I'm in the Ardèche Gorge, within the heart of France, surrounded by high limestone cliffs which loom over the winding Ardèche River. This whole area is protected, and I'm going to meet local wildlife ranger Olivier Perronel, who is in charge of keeping this untamed pocket of France safe. The banks and beaches that line the river are home to a varied plant life. Everything that grows here thrives in a Mediterranean climate. Olivier is going to reveal some of their traditional uses. Olivier, this particular beach I've visited many times myself because the plants are incredible here.
Incredible.
But you have a traditional interest and knowledge in the plants.
Yes, because my grandmother was always in the place, and she finds some plant for eating or for medicine.
That's
too.
so interesting. Well, show me some of the things that she taught you.
Of course, right. Here you have the traditional plant from Mediterranean area, like, for example, the eryngium, eringo.
So we've got this plant that looks like a sea holly, but it's not. This is the field eringo.
And it contains sugar, amidon, lot of good things.
So you can cook this or you can use it raw.
Like a carrot.
It's delicious.
The same family.
And it's sweet. You can really taste the sugar.
If we find maybe the
Thyme, yep.
thyme.
Olivia, I've heard that in this area people recognise different uses of the thyme for medicine, depending on the altitude at which it's collected. Is that right?
Yes, it's right. Here we are at low altitude, and it's good for antiseptic. If you go at the top of the gorge, it's not good for the same. It's good for kill the fungus in the foot, you know.
So local people had worked it out by observation, and now science has supported their discovery.
Exactly.
And it's incredible.
It's incredible, yeah.
I think it's really important,
yes.
Because when you know the use of a plant, it's your friend.
Ah, yes.
The plant life here has adapted to the hot conditions, but I'm eager to get back near the cool river. The shallow waters are a great place to spot wildlife if you look closely. What have you got, Olivier? A snake. Fantastic.
I find a viperine.
Viperine, yeah.
You know it?
I do. The viperine snake is part of the adder and viper family, but unlike adders, has no venom. This is the one that has the round eye, not the slit.
Exactly. That's the difference between a viper and viperine.
Yeah.
She looks like vipers.
She looks like an adder, but she's not an adder.
No, nothing. Look,
She's harmless.
she's very quiet. She eats frogs.
Yep.
She eats some fish, and she's eaten by birds, a lot of birds. So she's very important in the nature and in the equilibrium of the nature.
Equilibrium of the natural
Yes.
world, yeah. So beautiful. The river makes the perfect home for wildlife, but humans have had a long history of living here too. All around me I can see small caves in the cliff walls, and some of these caves have been used by man for thousands of years. No one is allowed to enter them as they are protected, but I have been given special permission to enter this one.
Here you've got longer legs than me.
We have to scramble to get to it, but it's worth the effort.
Lord, look at this. It's an incredible view.
This cave has a long human history. It is thought that people lived here ever since the late Stone Age, 10,000 years ago. But it also has more recent history. This cave and others nearby were used as a refuge by the resistance in World War II. Many of them were never discovered by the enemy.
Some people like us.
But Olivier has his own history with the cave.
When you were a boy, you used to come and camp here, didn't you? Yes, but you are in natural reserve.
And of course the goats like this cave today, the floor is covered in goat droppings.
It's a savage goat.
Wild goats, yeah.
Yeah, wild goat.
And looking around, I see you've got this plant here that a lot of people from Britain won't know. It's called smilax. And you find it in hot countries largely, hot places. And it's got a leaf, lovely heart-shaped leaf, and it's covered in thorns. And it's a plant that you can think is just like a bramble. But if you're hiking and you find this plant, don't try to push through it, because these thorns have a little surprise, because on the inside of the thorn, they're like a blade. And they dig in, and then they just score you like razor blades. So this is a plant that's very much best to back off from. But there's an interesting French name for this plant, isn't there?
This is a smurf plant.
In English, it's called the smurf plant because they eat it. And you can make a blue dye from this plant, and that's why smurfs are blue.
That's why.
Fantastic. It's a great place, isn't it? It's really lovely.
It's quite.
Yeah, it's peaceful.
Ah, yes.
Out of the shelter of the cave, after a hot scramble down, I'm ready to cool off. Oh, it's so much better. Oh.